Well, hello. It has been a minute, hasn't it? I took a couple months off from diary readings and other videos. Had a little travel, and I've also been really focusing on this children's book that I'm working on. I wrote a children's book towards the end of the pandemic based on Audrey Hepburn's childhood because I don't know. I love Audrey Hepburn, and I wanted to create her story in a way that was kind of inspirational for all the little ballerinas who might have lost time during the pandemic. However, Becoming Audrey, as I named it back then, and naming it now, didn't get off the ground. I went through a couple editors and a couple illustrators too, but no one could really match my vision. So last year I started taking up art again and learning how to digitally paint, and it has been a tiring process that I've been really focusing on this year because of so many delays. I just want to get it done, get it out there, and I've been working really hard on it this year. So fingers crossed for that, but it has taken away time from the diaries and everything else. But I really wanted to get back to it because I have so many. Oh my gosh, I have been reading them and I have so many stories to share. So today we are getting started with one from 1956, and I do not know who wrote it. I've written down all the clues that I could find in the diary. There are also some little passages written in shorthand that I have not been able to decipher. Back when I was reading it months and months ago, I did figure out one or two words, but I don't know shorthand at all. I tried to find someone who could help me. I tried with ChatGPT, although maybe now would be better. Might try again. But shorthand is so personal, and there are at least two different kinds of shorthand. So there's shorthand in here, and I'm hoping if I just start reading this, someone out there might find it and find the challenge and know shorthand and be able to help. If you do know shorthand, I will, share the bits up here when I come across them. But I also have scanned the diary, and if you want to help with the shorthand, I will send you the PDF for free. Otherwise, if you want to buy it to read along or whatever, it is on the website. Link will be in the description below, the Buy Me a Coffee link. I should explain once more for anyone who's new. What I do is I read an episode, a couple months of a diary, here publicly on YouTube, and then the rest of the readings I put on my Buy Me a Coffee and just ask a couple dollars a month in support. I might change things up there a bit at some point. It's just because the diaries get expensive, it takes a lot of time, and my main goal is to find out who they belong to and return them to the family. So if I can kind of pay for the diaries through these little memberships, one by one, when I get to return them to families, I'm not out a whole lot of money because they can get expensive. I don't think this one was too expensive. I do keep a note. Oh, this doesn't have the note in the front. I usually put a post-it note in there. But I got this one rebound. This one was falling apart too, so I took it to a bookbinder in Amsterdam so they could bind it again. It fell apart again right there, but it's holding together, new binding. So it's been a while. Okay, so yes, mystery lady. All I know is she seems to live with her sister in San Diego. I think she's got children, like grown children. Never mentions a husband or anything. And yeah, I don't have a lot of notes. Like, I don't know who she is. So we'll go through it. Her sister's name is Anne. I think their brother's name was Bill. He lived in Fort Wayne or around there, and he dies this year. So that's all I have. I have Anne and Bill and potentially her children's names. It's been a while. So we're going to get started. First, what I like to do is read a couple of events that happened that year. And don't have too many for this year. I skimmed through this morning and picked out things that I thought were interesting for the year, but fortunately not a whole lot for me to read, so we can get started with a diary pretty quickly today. So, what happened in 1956? January 3rd, a fire damages the top part of the Eiffel Tower. January 9th, Abigail Van Buren's, in brackets, Pauline Phillips, Dear Abby advice column first appears in newspapers. January 9th, the musical Peter Pan starring Mary Martin broadcast live for a second time on NBC as part of Producers Showcase series. And do you remember this? I remember this. I mean, she did it like twice. I don't know which one, when it got filmed. I think it was filmed a couple years later. But I loved that Peter Pan. I remember watching that a lot. I just watched another clip from it when this came up in my readings. But I wanted to be Peter Pan. So I'll have to watch that again sometime. And did you know, Mary Martin, I think the note might be in here. Oh yeah, there it is. She was, actually I don't have it here. I don't know, she was like 40 when she played that. So, awesome. Back in the days when there were roles for us, playing younger children. January 22nd, 30 people die in a train crash in Los Angeles. I think she mentions that in here as well. There was at least a train crash that I did take notes on. January 22nd. Yep, I do have that in there, so we'll get to that. January 28th, Elvis Presley's first appearance on national TV in the Dorsey Brothers stage show. January 30th, the home of Martin Luther King Jr. is bombed, which I didn't know about. March 2nd, the French-Moroccan agreement signed in Paris rescinds the Treaty of Fez, declaring independence of Morocco from France. May 24th, the first Eurovision song contest. Lise Assia for Switzerland, wins singing Refrain in Lugano. July 30th, the U.S. motto, In God We Trust, is authorized. Thanks. September 14th, IBM introduces the RAMAC, I'm not sure, 305, the first commercial computer with a hard drive with magnetic disk storage, weighs over a ton. So much more than my laptop. October 29th, Greek-American soprano Maria Callas makes her Metropolitan Opera debut in the title role of Bellini's Norma. And I still have not watched her perform. I know a little about her, but I would love to know more about her. December 21st, Montgomery bus boycott ends. Martin Luther King Jr., Ralph Abernathy, E.D. Nixon, and Glenn Smiley ride in new integrated bus after Supreme Court rules segregated buses unconstitutional. So, that was my short list of what happened that year. And now we will get on to our mystery diary. These are my notes. Oh my gosh. It's been a while. You know what? It's been so long that I kept trying to connect my phone to the camera with the wrong app for a different camera. So my boyfriend's like, which app are you using? Okay. So we figured that out. And we're here. All right, so let's see. She's got a little note in the front that doesn't make sense. Van White's wit knit sweater. Cha-cha. Like T-C-H-A, T-C-H-A. I don't know. Just a little note for herself. Ah, boy, I hate it when I have like a sneeze or a sniff or something. That means I have to edit. Okay. So she's got a note at the top of Sunday, January 1st's page saying, I did not get this diary until January 9th. 55? Interesting. Well, weird. She's got a couple notes for 1955. But this is 1956 diary, so I don't know. Back talk. 12/29/55, Thursday. Dorothy Jeffries went to Texas for 2 weeks, left her cat and television with us. Yeah, television sitting. So Dorothy Jeffries, I tried to look her up, and I think there's some other mentions of her in the diary. But I looked her up, on Ancestry, and this could be Dorothy Lee Wilburn, who married John Jeffries in Texas, and by 1950, when she was 32, was living in San Diego. So, kind of checks out. Not sure. 12/28/55. I don't know. We're really going backwards here. Wednesday went to. Sorry, it takes a little time to get back into the handwriting here. 7 Townsend. No wait. Maybe Gavin Townsend's house and House of Hospitality restaurant for lunch. Then hurried to San Diego Women's Club to see skit put on by Mrs. Courtney and 3 grandchildren. Writers Club meeting. So, the House of Hospitality. We love to give you a nice picture of San Diego. House of Hospitality is a building in Balboa Park in San Diego. It was originally built for the Panama, California Exposition in 1915 as the Foreign Arts Building. Intended to be temporary, it was changed to the House of Hospitality for the California Pacific International Exposition in 1935. The building was demolished in the 1990s for structural reasons and later reconstructed using the original building as a model. It is currently home to the Balboa Park Visitor Center, the offices of the Balboa Park Conservancy, and offices for organizations operating in the park. So, now I need a visit to San Diego. A little far. January 1st, 56. Took walk in Collars Park. Lucy came in for supper. So I don't know who Lucy is. Lucy came in for supper. Monday, January 2nd, Anne gave me a permanent Nutritonic regular, $1.98 including tax, 20 minutes, good job. So this, where are my notes? I do have a note on the perms, but yeah, Anne gave her a perm. So they were doing that at home, I guess. I wonder if Anne, I mean, this is just something they do at home, but I wonder if Anne did hairstyling or some blank pages I'll just skip over. Wednesday, January 4th, Anne and I went to San Diego to cash our checks. Got vitamins at M. Ward's, each paid $1.05. Came home soon and went to New Food Basket on Catalina Street. Oh, I forgot to, why don't I have a note? I like putting notes of how much things would cost these days, so I should have had that over there for $1.98. I don't have it in my notes here. Somehow I skipped that. But $1.05, I also don't have that in there. So I'll put that over there, what that is today. The Food Basket, I do have a note here. The Food Basket was a chain of grocery stores, started in the early 1950s. It was acquired by Lucky Stores in 1956, so this year. And this location was probably at Point Loma at Talbot Street and Catalina Boulevard. I'm trying. Thursday blank, so many blank. Like so much could be gone into so much deeper if I really needed to know or wanted to know, like, where was this store? But as this is not really important to the story, we continue on. Sunday, January 8th. Took long walk out Venice Street. Lovely walking, not cold. Saw afternoon and evening television. Monday, January 9th. Drove to Sears, 10:30 a.m., then to La Jolla, where Anne purchased her 1956 car license for $6. Taxes, $15. number 201. Maybe it's her license number. So $6 car license today, and it'll be different next month because inflation. Today, that would be $70.54, and the $15 taxes would be $176.36. And I'm wondering, is this taxes on the license? Because that's evil. More taxes than the license even costs. Got a nice letter from Mac and Goldie for Christmas thanks. Got this diary at Woolworth's Pacific Beach. Also bought fitted bottom sheet at Penny's for $1.47. Saw Mary Martin in Peter Pan. Excellent. So is that Monday, January 9th. Yep, Monday, January 9th. She watched on TV. So her sheet at Woolworth's. Wait, she didn't say. Wait, 147. Yes, the sheet at Penny's was $17.28 today. So it's about the same. And every time I want to buy a sheet at the store, it's about $20, 20 euros. So that's about right. So yeah, Mary Martin, my little note here. Mary Martin famously portrayed Peter Pan in the original Broadway production of the musical, which premiered in 1954. She earned a Tony Award for her performance and was a memorable part of the show, even appearing in NBC telecasts in 1955, 1956, and 1960. I think the 1960 version was the one that I watched as a kid. Tuesday, January 10th, Anne took one tub clothes to laundromat. Mary Lou and Bobby visited us about an hour at 11 a.m. Took nice walk down Voltaire. Coffee, Sunset Inn at 4 p.m. Television at night. So I tried to find the Sunset Inn, but I could not find any mentions of it. I found Sunset Cliffs, and that is not the same thing. Because at one point she tells like where she walked and in kind of a circle or square from home. So I had a rough idea where she lived, and the Sunset Cliffs was not near there, so I don't think she would have gone over there. And it's not on Voltaire Street. So, Wednesday, January 11th, Anne to La Jolla for Spanish class. We drove to Newport Street for groceries at 3:30 p.m., coffee at King's, home for supper. Dorothy and family drove in at 6:30 p.m., did not come over for television. Van came for Cat, only talked to him a minute. So, Van came for the cat. Coffee at King's. I don't have a note on that, but I think I have a note later about King's being a coffee or restaurant chain or something. So let's see. Dorothy and family. Dorothy. Okay. I need to circle some things, refresh my memory, because I made these notes a while ago and I'm trying to kind of piece together who's who. So Dorothy Jeffries, Van is a kid. He's school-aged. I figure that out at some point. I'll have to look that up on Ancestry and double-check and see if it's in her profile. Anything else? Thursday, January 12th. Dorothy talked a minute to Anne. Van came to tell us hello. Took walk down Voltaire to end, then back Long Branch at 4 p.m. Les did not come for TV, I think, today, so we watched it tonight. Anne worked on side house, border bed, cleaned out weeds, and spaded it, reset brick edge. January 13th, Anne and I drove to seashore at Cape May and picked up small rocks for paving between patio bricks and back of house, then drove to filled-in hole at end of Seaside Drive where they were more plentiful for more. Got half bushel or more. Les and Kenneth came for TV. Gotta figure out who Les and Kenneth are. Very pretty sunny day. To Lucy's room a little while at 6 p.m. Gave her Women's Day. Oh, a magazine. Gave her Women's Day magazine. I didn't write that down. That's a magazine, I know that. She gave us 2 mighty something apples. My weight on Lucy's scale is 135 pounds. Saturday, January 14th, cleaned house and shopped for groceries at 4 p.m. We drove to library at 6 p.m. We had dinner at Nina's. Tonight I studied Vogue pattern for checked jacket, Anne's Christmas gift to me. Anne attends an altered skirt hem and red and blue barred dress. Sunday, January 15th, had baked chicken for dinner. Good. Took walk down Voltaire at 5 p.m. Very dark day. All day, not cold but cloudy. Started practicing hot breaks on piano. Shaft's book? Shafty's book? I'm not sure what that is. I don't have my dates on these notes, but I don't think I'm there yet. Monday, January 16th. Washed today and finished all ironing. Smart. Dorothy Jeff came over to visit, but Kenneth came after her, so she did not get to stay very long. Kenneth and Les are somehow connected. Gotta figure this out. Dark all day. Finished drying clothes in-house. Tuesday, January 17th, Anne took car to India Street for work on wheel balance. She says she should have new tires. Would like to turn car in and get another Morris car. And I feel like I had a note on Morris cars, but I've got like 12 pages in notes here, so I'll put a picture of a Morris car over there. I'll circle that too. Yep. Dorothy's sister sent her a big box of very pretty clothes from Dallas. Yeah, so that must be her because Dorothy is from Texas. Excellent. We got Dorothy at least. It's a shame she's not still alive to tell us who this lady is. She gave several dresses and skirts to Mary Lou and some to Elaine. I put new house numbers on house today. Filled old holes with plastic, wood, and touched up with white paint. Wednesday, January 18th. I cut out checked red and black cashmere coat today. Quite a job, matching plaid and keeping nap right. Anne went to town 3 times today, seeing about alignment on her car wheels and buying 2 tires from Montgomery Ward's for front wheels. We went to Sunset Inn for our supper. Both of us tired this evening. Thursday, January 19th, Anne took car to have wheels adjusted today. Gone long time. Rested in p.m. Went to Newport Street with Anne at 2 p.m. She to bank and I to dime store, then had lunch at Coffee Cup. I don't have a note about Coffee Cup either. There's just so many things to take notes about. Coffee Cup. So I will also look that up. Friday, January 20th, I gave Anne a perm in AM, Nutritonic, regular, 20 minutes. Dorothy came over at 2 p.m. to set Anne's hair. Perm looked okay. Anne and I to Pacific Beach at 4 p.m. Got 4 pairs panties each for $1 at Penny's. Got barbecue beef sandwiches, coleslaw, and coffee at Barbecue. Very good. I got music, scored books, and colored pencils at PB, Pacific Beach, I think. And after supper, worked on copying 2 measure breaks. So, JCPenney's. Well, if you don't know, JCPenney's was founded in 1902 as a group of dry goods stores that James Cash Penney managed as part of the Golden Rule chain and incorporated under his own name in 1913. The stores were initially located in downtown areas but shifted to shopping malls during the 1960s. I also believe Penney's was the one that didn't want to do credit cards or something like that. He didn't believe in, people getting into debt. There was something interesting about that, the golden rule chain, but I don't have that note here. So her panties, how many pairs? 4 pairs each for $1. So 4 pairs of panties for $1 was $11.76. Not bad. Saturday, January 21st, Anne and I went to Spreckles at noon to see the second greatest sex. I have notes here because she spells her name wrong. Jeanne, Crane, Keith Andes, Kitty Callan, George Nadar, Keith Andes sang "Send a Miracle, Lord." Very beautiful voice. I'll address this first. Spreckles, which she also spelled wrong. Spreckles Theater is a performing arts center in San Diego, California. It was touted as the first modern commercial playhouse west of the Mississippi. It was designed for philanthropist John D. Spreckles and was meant to commemorate the opening of the Panama Canal. Built in 1912, it was originally created to host live theater performances, but was converted to allow motion pictures in 1931. The theater has been closed since being sold in 2021. There are currently plans to renovate the building. So, the movie The Second Greatest Sex is a 1955 American Western musical comedy film directed by George Marshall and starring Jeanne Crane and George Nadar. It is a Western version of the play Lysistrata, which I am not familiar with, by Aristophanes. Oh my goodness, this is difficult. It's on my list to study more ancient literature, but I have not had the time. Maybe next year. In 1880, men from 3 Kansas towns, Osaka? Oh dear. Jones City and Mandarin feud over which one gets to be the county seat. A safe containing important documents is the prize, which whoever controls it will determine the county seat. Anyway, other pick, Target Zero. Richard Conte Peggy Castle. Both good pictures. So Target Zero is a 1955 American war and drama film directed by Harmon Jones and written by James Warner, Bella, and Sam Rolfe. The film stars Richard Conte, Peggy Castle, Charles Bronson, Richard Weiler, L.Q. Jones, and Chuck Connors. The film was released and published by Warner Brothers on November 15th, 1955. And I don't have a plot line for this. Out at 3 p.m. to Pullman for meal, to dime store, then home about 5 p.m. Sent card tonight for life for 39 weeks in Anne's name. Second sex plot from Lysistrata. Tommy Rowell, great dancer. Something Boyd. Did I read a Boyd? I don't know. I can't quite understand what she's writing. There's some names about the movie, I think. Sunday, January 22nd. Stayed home all day, worked on checked coat, listened to radio. This day at 5 p.m., a wreck on AT and SF Santa Fe Railroad at Los Angeles killed and injured almost all of 175 people on board en route to San Diego. Bulletins coming in every few minutes. Over 45 dead. Correct count impossible as yet. Cloudy all day. So there was a wreck on the Santa Fe Railroad in Los Angeles. 30 killed, 117 injured. The Redondo Junction train wreck occurred at 1742. 5:42 on the evening of January 22nd. On the Santa Fe Railroad in Los Angeles, the accident happened at Redondo Junction, California, just southwest of Boyle Heights near Washington Boulevard and the Los Angeles River. It killed 30 people and injured 117 more. Well, we just said that. It was the first major disaster in the LA area covered on live television and the worst train wreck in the city's history. Basically what happened, I'm not sure if the conductor had gone that route before with that train and it was like a more high-speed train. But they were supposed to go like 30 miles an hour at a certain point. Like they'd leave the station in LA and this train could make it to this specific point in like 7 minutes. And then at that point, you're supposed to go like 30 miles an hour or something slower. And they were going like 60 and took this turn too fast and the train went off the tracks. It's just, so that's what happened there, I believe. Follow the speed limit, guys. Even though I know you're not driving trains, but cars too. Just, drive safe. And if you are a conductor of a train, drive safe, please. Monday, January 23rd, cloudy and rainy all day, and put new washer on hot water tap in lavatory in bathroom, stop drip, and also we got good stream of water. Had been very scant. Tuesday, January 24th, washed and ironed, all done, and laid 4 slabs for platform at back steps, and took van to school. I worked on checked coat. Anne and I walked down to Elvie's for thread and tape, then on down to Abbott Street and back by Point Loma Avenue. Some sun, cloudy from noon on. Wednesday, January 25th, cloudy and rain. Anne went to La Jolla to Spanish lesson. I went over to Dorothy Jeffries to help her alter some of the clothes her sister sent her from Texas. Anne came over at 3:30 p.m. and Dorothy gave us coffee. Anne and I walked down Voltaire to Duchess Market in damp weather at 6:30 p.m. Sort of fun. Got Saturday Evening Post and Women's Home Companion. Worked on Dorothy's gray jersey skirt after supper. Any notes? Elvie's. I tried to look up Elvie's. Didn't find anything. Or Duchess Market. So, Thursday, January 26th. Anne and I to Pacific Beach, Mayfair, and Golden States. Anne got groceries and 2 fried chickens at 37 cents a pound. Cost 19 cents, so it was $4.35 a pound, and they spent $2.23. How does that compare to today? Seems cheap. I got black rubber 1-inch strip for belt for black pleated cotton skirt for Dorothy. Dorothy quite pleased with it. Went on up to La Jolla and got groceries at AP. We got bargain odds and ends at 10-cent store. Finished Dorothy's gray jersey skirt. Basted black belts on skirt. Worked ripping gray jersey blouses. Friday, January 27th, finished Dorothy's gray jersey dress and black pleated skirt alterations. She well pleased, little more due on jersey. Took Women's Day to Lucy, had nice visit in her room and also with us. And got nice letter from Annabelle Myers today, lots of news about things and people in Anne's former office. Los Angeles, Venice, flooded. Rainy and cloudy all days. So, yeah. There was a 2-day deluge, dropping 8.53 inches on the city. I found pictures of some other areas of LA, but not specifically Venice. Found some a little farther south, like Carson or something. I will share over there. But I have a link with some pictures and information. I'll share other links down in the description below for for things that might be interesting to look into for you. But yes, lots of rain that year, and it was a bad flood. Ruby wanted us to go to Salton Sea with them today at 12 noon. We refused. Saturday, January 28th. Do I have anything about that? The Salton Sea. It's a shallow, landlocked, highly saline endorheic lake. What is that word? In Riverside and Imperial counties in Southern California. It lies on the San Andreas Fault within the Salton Trough, which stretches to the Gulf of California and Mexico. Cleaned house and worked on front flower beds. Dorothy brought us a nice pumpkin pie at 2 p.m. I gave her her gray jersey dress, which I had finished altering last night. I hit ceiling light fixture in Anne's room with vacuum pipe, which was cracked. Down came half of the bowl and splintered on rug. Did not get hit, luckily. Must get new one. We walked to Larry's at 5 p.m. Sunday, January 29th. There's a little bit of shorthand at the top. I will put it right there, so maybe you can decipher it in the next minute that I'll have it there. Pause the video. Hemmed Anne's blue bordered skirt while listening to Ed Bergen. So Ed is on the radio. Edgar John Bergen. He was an American ventriloquist, comedian, actor, vaudevillian, and radio performer. He was best known for his characters Charlie McCarthy and Mortimer Snerd. Bergen pioneered modern-day ventriloquism and has been described by puppetry organization Unima as the quintessential ventriloquist of the 20th century. He was the father of actress Candice Bergen. So, took walk at 5 p.m., met Lucy and took her along. We puttered around at Zeke's country store looking at antiques, then hamburger and coffee at Sunset Inn. Don't have anything about Zeke's or the Sunset Inn. I copied to measure runs and transposed into other keys till 11 p.m. To bed after rubbing Anne's knee with alcohol. She strained it yesterday carrying bricks and working in yard. Swollen on inside and sore. Better tonight. Monday, January 30th. Washed and ironed, all done. Went to Pacific Beach, bought 2 bottom sheets at Penny's for $3.06, which would be $35.98. I bought plastic bowl for light fixture for $1.19, which is $13.99. Very satisfactory in my room, and worked in yard in PM. Lucy says Salton Sea trip uncomfortable. Started home at 6 p.m., got home at 9 p.m. Just rode all time, wind blew sand. Saw Mrs. Dumont at Mission Beach. She wants Anne to go to Mexico next November and stay 6 months with 2 other women. Tuesday, January 31st, rained in night of 30 and very dark all day today. Oh, like last night, January 30th. Lucy and Ruby came in a little while at 3 p.m., walked to Duchess Market at 5 p.m. for apples and margarine. She spells that differently there. But Duchess Market, I still don't know. I think I even tried looking at it at a different spelling. Where did I put it? Oh, I'll write it down. Again, Duchess Market. But I did look that up and couldn't find anything. There is a bit more shorthand at the bottom of this entry. And we are going to end it there for this reading because it's already been like 40 minutes for me and I need a break. And I know that's just 1 month, but let's see how far we get in the next reading. If you want to keep following along with me and our mystery lady, please join me at the link below. Buy me a coffee, and I'll see you over there. I hope I get through more than a month for a reading. This is going to take a while. Normally, I can cover 2 to 4 months in a reading, but you know, it depends on the diary. So we shall see. But it's nice to be back. I'll try to be regular. It's going to be a little difficult this summer. We are going away a couple times and trying to move. So I've just been packing everything up and also working on the kids' book. So I'm trying. The diaries are important to me. So I want to keep up with it and get to some of these stories and hopefully have some more success finding their families as well. So I just got lost. Darn it, I hate when that happens. But yeah, the diaries are important to me. And even though it's going to be a busy rest of the year, I want to, you know, try to get back on track with these. So here we are. And if you want to help solve this mystery, feel free to give me your thoughts and suggestions, because I need some help here. I cannot figure out who she is. But hopefully we will succeed and then find her family and return the diary. That's my hope. So I will hopefully see you in the next reading over on Buy Me a Coffee. If not, then I'll see you in a couple weeks with the next diary or a sewing video if I manage to do any editing on that. So thanks for stopping by. Nice to be back. Hope you enjoyed today's reading. Ciao.